The last years brought great hardship to our community, our nation, and the world. The COVID-19 pandemic wreaked havoc on our health, our economy, and our general psyche. However, despite the toll it has taken, the virus has not kept the town of Chapel Hill from moving forward on many of our crucial goals. Despite the pandemic, considerable work was completed on the Climate Action and Response Plan, which will chart a course for how our community can reduce the emissions that cause climate change and build the resilience that is needed to address it. The Council has reviewed the draft plan and will consider approval in March of 2021. Important studies are underway to improve our local waterways and conserve our precious ecosystems. The Eastwood Lake and Cedar Fork subwatershed studies continued forward and will result in a list of critical improvement projects to control existing flooding, stabilize streams, and improve overall water quality in the town's watersheds. The Booker Creek Basin Park is 90% complete and open for public access. Located between the Eastgate Crossing Shopping Center and South Elliott Road, the park will help manage flooding for most storm events by slowing down the flow of water and holding it in place. Since late 2019, the town and community have partnered to plant 434 trees, more than double our initial goal of 200 in that time frame. The town completed an interim step to remediate the coal ash contamination at the site of our current police headquarters, while a long-term plan for remediation is being developed. Nearly 2,000 LED streetlights were installed in our commercial district, replacing older, less efficient, and more costly lighting. After the pandemic reduced restaurant and retail business downtown, the council took swift action to provide businesses more outdoor space in front of their storefronts on Franklin Street. The town has provided tens of thousands of dollars for personal protective equipment and grants to help our small businesses. Important north-south connectors were completed in the downtown streetscape along Roberson and Graham Streets. Our Economic Development Office has worked closely with members of our community to develop a plan for economic revival once the pandemic is over. The Council authorized an economic development agreement with Grubb Properties to partner on construction of an 1,100-space parking deck and an office building with wet lab space on East Rosemary Street, bringing an estimated $80 million in new investment and 800 jobs into our downtown. Construction of the garage is slated to begin in the spring of 21, while the office building is making its way through the entitlement process right now. The pandemic has also had an effect on local government budgets around the nation. Here in Chapel Hill, the town took steps early in the crisis to protect the resources needed to both invest in our response efforts and to protect the services our community has come to expect from us. Those decisions have helped us manage the crisis without sacrificing those critical services. Council adopted the first $5.2 million funding plan for the $10 million affordable housing bond that was approved in 2018. The Council also deployed over $6 million in additional funds to our community partners for affordable housing development and preservation projects in the community. 15 new affordable housing units were developed and 80 units were preserved during this period of time. Staff is also developing affordable housing on town-owned properties, entering into a negotiation with a development partner and developing a site plan for 2200 Homestead Road. Public-private partnerships are also in progress for J Street and the Trinity Court projects. The town received responsive bids for all of these projects and are looking forward to developing those properties during the next few years. The West Franklin Street Lane reallocation project was approved by the town and NCDOT and will restripe Franklin Street to include bike lanes from Merritt Mill Road to Columbia Street. The council enacted key ordinance changes and approved a pilot to coordinate a bike share program with UNC Chapel Hill and Carrboro. Although COVID has delayed implementation, the town will set up the first bike share location on Franklin Street to approximately 100 bikes that will be deployed between Chapel Hill and Carrboro. The Bowling Creek Greenway is now connected under Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. This completes a paved greenway from the Chapel Hill Community Center to downtown Chapel Hill. The Council approved the Chapel Hill Transit Short-Range Transit Plan, which offers 7 days a week bus service and improves service frequencies in areas with high transit demand, including East Franklin Street and MLK Boulevard. The town's Community Arts and Culture program has focused on creating outdoor art to engage the community with new projects, including the Elizabeth Cotton mural, new bus stop art installations, downtown window art installations, and several public arts projects in our parks, including the mural at the Bowling Creek Connector and the wastewater lines along the Booker Creek Trail. And although COVID has limited mass gatherings, it has not impeded the collection of local music. Community members curated a digital collection of local music called the Tracks Music Library Local Music Platform. Chapel Hill library card holders can stream music from over 70 local musicians and bands. To protect against the spread of COVID, it has become necessary this year to establish safer methods for community engagement. Council and staff worked tirelessly to adapt meetings and programs to an online environment, including town council meetings, advisory board meetings, and programming for Parks and Recreation, Fire, and the library. They were all adjusted to provide new approaches for the delivery of our services, both in person and online. The Council finalized and adopted the town's future land use map to update the Chapel Hill 2020 Comprehensive Plan. The update serves as the foundation for rewriting the town's land development regulations, which will be the next phase of charting our future. And the town has made a commitment to improving the look and feel of our built environment by encouraging developers to utilize the talents of our urban design team. This type of collaboration will lead to projects that incorporate the town's vision for smart, attractive development. In light of the murder of George Floyd last summer, the Town Council adopted a resolution on developing new community approaches to improve racial equity and public safety in Chapel Hill. And they also established the Reimagining Community Safety Task Force to bring forth concrete, actionable recommendations to increase public safety, to eliminate structural inequities in town public safety systems, and to enable all in the community to thrive. The task force will bring forth recommendations later this spring. Additionally, the town focused on addressing systemic inequities in the criminal justice system by starting a criminal justice debt fund that offers debt relief to community members who are taking steps to successfully reintegrate into society, but whose ability to do so is hampered by debt from court fees and cost. Council also recently passed a non-discrimination ordinance that reinforces the town's commitment to protecting the rights of all of its residents, including those in the LGBTQ+ community. A long-standing priority of the Council is addressing the facility needs for community safety in Chapel Hill, and the Town Council is considering a couple of options for the location of the new Municipal Services Center. And with strict protocols in place, the town continued to provide critical permitting and inspection support to ensure safety and quality in the construction of new buildings here in town. All of those actions are critically important for our community, but the most important effort this past year was our coordinated approach to address the basic needs of our residents during the pandemic. The town worked with community partners to provide food. Town employees and our partners have served nearly 47,000 individuals since March of 2020, and many more children have been served through our partnerships with nonprofits and the school system. Nearly 24,000 masks have been distributed free of charge by the town to local residents to help protect people. Educating the public about the pandemic has been coordinated through a joint information system with the towns of Chapel Hill, Carrboro, and Hillsborough, Orange County, and the University of North Carolina. This effort has been focused on providing timely information that would help our residents protect themselves and their loved ones. The town has also worked with partners like the YMCA and the Refugee Community Partnership to offer educational opportunities to students who may otherwise struggle with a virtual learning environment. Despite the significant challenges of the last year, our town council, our staff, our regional partners, and our community have banded together to help us survive this once-in-a-lifetime experience. As a result of those efforts, our area is primed and ready to thrive as we edge closer to a new day post-COVID.